Hello there, beautiful internet and you fantastic creatures of the beyond. So, a question that might have been on the mind of some people. Can you do photo manipulation in Inkscape? Kind of. So, we will explore that today because I was curious about this as well. To what extent can we do some photo manipulation in Inkscape? And you would be surprised to what Inkscape is capable of doing, although it does come with some caveats, obviously. So, I've taken this portrait of this model, and don't worry, I'll put the link to the source of the place where I got the image, because it's open source. But the thing is, this is the original image. And as you can see, it has this background. So now in Inkscape, you can clip it following the path, but then when you get to the hair, it is extremely difficult to kind of keep, well, in this case, you can kind of get away with it by following the shape of the hair as it's quite straight. But I thought I want to keep this extra strains. So, well, here I kind of messed it up a little bit, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. And it's near impossible to do this in Inkscape. It's extremely difficult and tedious, and it's much easier to do in a raster software, as I have done over here. And basically I've added this interesting mask. And to do this mask I had to use, just like in Photoshop, you have this selection brush, which is, I forgot what's the name in Photoshop, but basically it's a redefining brush of the when you're selecting your subject, you know? It's like a magic selection tool, but it's selection brush, whatever. You get what I mean. And then you do the refining, bam bam bam, to get as much as possible of this. There are other ways with channels, and I've tried that as well. But then I find that the refining was quite okay on this background. And it looks nice. But then I thought, what can we do even further than this? Because right now we got this image, we got a beautiful background, but not much can be done in this sense, right? We're just left with it. So I thought maybe I should desaturate it. And then I looked into the filters, and you can go with, well, this is the easiest way I can think of. For this filter, you set everything on one over here. And when you apply this filter, if it wants to apply on the image, then I get the black and white. The problem is we only have red, blue and green, and these are the, I forgot what these other ones are. This is for the alpha and this one is for the addition something, whatever. So one main issue with this is that we're only limited to these 3 channels, and in a raster software like here, if I want to go into this black and white, I don't have only red, blue and green, but I also have cyan, magenta and yellow. So if I'm gonna enable this, I'm getting a much better result in black and white. So the absence of these 3, well, they're not really channels, they're tones, is kind of problematic. And I think this is gonna be an issue in Inkscape for a very long time, for the foreseeable future, because CMYK is not yet part of Inkscape. It kind of is in some capacity in the latest beta, but yeah, it's not doable. Especially you can't do it through the filters, at least not to my knowledge. So there are some big limitations there. So if you want to get the black and white version, I really recommend going into GIMP and playing with more advanced tools there that are specifically dedicated to adjusting black and white. And I kind of like how this black and white came out to be. So we're gonna roll with it. I've already generated my black and white image. Well, at least I thought I did. Where did I place it? I didn't. Let me just do it really quick. And let's export it. Where are we? We are over here. Okay, so I've exported it. Now let's bring it in here. Bam. So let's place it like so. Let me get a little bit of this. I'm gonna just... Well, for now I'm just gonna keep them both, just so you can see the difference. There is like a stark difference on how you can see the tones of the skin, much smoother and everything like that. So we're gonna stick with this one. I'm gonna disable the one on the background. Now this background with the gray, I just set it up so we have a better view, because on the white it's gonna look pretty difficult and burning on the eyes, so it's much easier to do it this way. Of course, this is gonna make our Inkscape file pretty huge because we're playing with the image, and this one has 7.4 megabytes, and it is a pretty chunky image. It has 2 times 3K on width and height, so yeah, it's pretty chunky, but still beautiful. So what could we do? Well, let's actually see if we can implement a filter for it. So I'm gonna go into filters, create a new filter for it. I'm gonna go and play with the component transfer. Now I already like how the tone looks, but we could probably go, let's say, with some gammas on the RGBs. And we can, well, first of all, let me apply the filter. And now if I want to get a bit more contrast or to play with the colors to make them a bit more vibrant, you see, can go a little higher. We can even push the blues or lower them to go a bit more sepia. We can play with the green, with the red, sorry, and kind of go into the greens and then into the violets. But yeah, pretty much we can kind of darken it this way. But as I said, it's rather limited. We can kind of play with the offset as well, but as you can see, it jumps quite high, so we might want something like a 0.3 in this case. So if I'm gonna push 0.3, you see it's lightening it up a bit. So without the filters, with the filters, it just gives it a bit more of a bump in tone. We can even push it further than this, but I think, I don't know, should I leave it lighter or darker? I think this extra darkness gives it a bit more defiance from the background, so I'm just gonna keep it for now. Just tiny small variations. Okay, let me disable the thing. Okay, let's look at the lips. So I think, well, she has her mouth a little bit open. Couldn't you just keep it closed a little bit? Okay, let's try to follow the path of the lips here. Well, maybe a bit better, like so. And as I always told you, there are no sharp corners in the human anatomy, with very few exceptions. So always try to aim for curves as much as possible. We're gonna fix everything afterwards. I think that looks okay-ish. Okay, so let's, I don't know, let's give it a red. Actually, I'm gonna choose this red, because why not? So, with this red, let's go and give it a blend mode of, we could go multiply. And just like that, bam, we have very red lips. Of course, this isn't very helpful. Let's try to arrange the lips a tiny bit better. Just so they look more natural. And I think that there is a bit of a shadow here. That kind of bumps in. Should push it a tiny bit like so. Okay. Maybe that should work. Maybe we can even add a little bit of a blur. Oh, what am I doing? Not to the image, to the path. Maybe like a 5? Maybe even more. Let's go with a 10. Ah, 10 is too much. No, I put 20, sorry. Okay, 10 should look nice. But it is too high in tone into the reds, into the dark reds. So we can, well, I don't even know what to do in this case. We could actually, let's not do a multiply. Let's do a heart. I'm thinking if I should do a clone, but if I do a clone, then the blend modes will transfer, I suppose. Do they? Let me just test it out. Oops. So if we have, oh, oops, not like that. So need a clone. And now if I change this to darken, yeah, it affects the clone as well. Although I could give the clone. Interesting. I can combine the blend modes by having the clone having a separate blend mode. But it's kind of So a solution would be well, actually, let's just do duplicates. Oops, not like this. Because I'm not gonna change the shape of the mouth. So let's say I'm gonna use this as a multiply and this as a color burn. But we're gonna reduce this. Actually, what happens if I go with darken on this one? And I go with hard light here. Not so good. So then multiply it is. I like that. But the... Let's see, if I go to color burn now and I reduce it. It's not helping me too much. Actually, it's a good way to darken things, but I'm gonna hide it for now. Let's duplicate it and make a whoops. And make a whoops. So let's call this multiply color burn, and this one I'm gonna go hard light. Just naming our convention here so we know what we're doing. Let's go with hard light. If we go with a, well, not a gradient. Interesting. What should I do here? What if I'm gonna go and do another duplicate? But in this case, I'm gonna use this as a mask. So I'm going to make a shape over here. Just an idea. Let's see how it works. And we're going to use set clip. I should undo this a little bit, group it, and now set the clip. And now let's see what's gonna happen in here if I want to go with another hard light. We have to apply it on the group. Oh, there we go, on the group. Interesting. Let's go with hard light again. And let's play with the tone, with the color tone in this case. Let's see what we can do for it. Let's go with rather lighter or darker. I think lighter would be interesting. And if I really want to, I could also do a gradient. Ooh, I like it. And this is transparent at the end, but I can go full opacity and then go darker on my own thing. Again, this is a very hard contrast, so let's actually try to add 15 on the blurriness. Let me reshape this because I don't really like how it ended up being. Just like that, we've made her lips. Well, they don't look super duper perfect. Maybe... yeah, this is a problem. Okay, let's see, the color burn gives it a bit more of a darker tone. Let's see how much we can push it. I'm not sure I've made the lips right. Let's see again. think maybe they should have been that higher. Something a little bit like that, maybe a bit more to the right here. Something like that. Actually, I'm not even gonna apply everything else that I did earlier. I kind of like this red out of the box, so let's delete everything I did. I don't know, it feels like it's very sharp and it just looks... I know, right now she looks like a clown, but bear with me. Bear with me. Let's do something to the neck. Let's see what happens here. We're just designing. We're having fun. We don't have to do anything specifically professional at this stage. Let's say I want to give it somewhere like so, and I'm gonna turn it into a curve. Maybe follow these bones over here. Like so. I know I'm going over the hair. And somewhere around here. Actually, I'm gonna make a sharp corner over here. Go very, very slowly around her chin. Yeah, that looks okay-ish. Okay, full opacity. And again, let's go with multiply. Ooh, that looks really nice. Maybe a bit over here. And again, we can do a little bit of a gradient. Oops. Go a bit more darker. Okay, that looks interesting. Again, we're limited in choices, but we're getting something out of it. Let's actually add something that I've done extra. Now again, I could clip it and blah blah blah, but I've made it separately into... I made this. So if I'm gonna bring it in here, I can place it something like so. Actually, let me see if the other way looks better. Kind of feel like the other way looks better. Huh. Nice. So let's see if we can do anything to these colors. First of all, let's actually select this image and let's go to path, trace bitmap, apply. So to have kind of a format of the same shape. I'm actually going to offset a little bit because it's not encompassing. Oh, did I kill it? it's working kind of slow for some reason. Let's see where it kind of blends in. Okay, so push, push. I'm gonna put it at 4, a little bit extra. Let's see if I'm gonna push it underneath. Maybe a bit less. Yeah, a 0.2, no, a 0.3. Well, whatever. It's there. 0.4. I like it. Good, 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 good. So, with this in mind, I'm going to I'm going to make a clipping mask. Actually, let me duplicate this. I somehow managed to kill the thing. Very interesting. Anyway. We're back. Like a heart attack. Let me just lower some things over here. Okay, so where were we? We were doing an... Oh, I see why it failed. I need to flatten this. Okay, there's a lot going on here, so I think it's screeching at me. So we're going to set this as a clip. Now, I'm going to put this underneath. Duplicate it again now, and let's let's create a shadow. Something like this, maybe a 25. Now it's creating the shadow outwards as well, but no biggie, we can fix this very quickly. I just need to create another shape. Oh, let's close the trace map. I think we can kind of cover it like so. Let's make this a proper mask. Set the clip, and voila. Call this shadow. Rose. Shadow. Whatever. And these are the roses. Okie dokie. So we have that on top. Bam, bam, bam. Now let's see. What could we do here? Let's enable this. Actually, I'm gonna do another duplicate to have it as backup. So let's use the same color. This red. And let's give it, I don't know, color burn? Yeah, that's a lot of color burning. So let's go with maybe 40. But now let's duplicate this again. And instead of color burning, we're gonna go with hard light. Although we could go with overlay, but I think hard light is a bit more pumped up. Or let's try color. Let's see how color looks. Color looks a little bit more natural. So let's see without the color burn. Oops, not this one, this one. So this desaturates it a little bit, makes it a bit more natural, but I kind of don't like it. Let's go with hard light then. Yeah, this is much better. Maybe I should put the color burn on top. we still need to kind of darken it somehow. So maybe I'm gonna go on the image itself and I'm gonna make an effect, a filter effect. And let's go with composite transfer filter. We're gonna go on the red, we're gonna go on the gamma. Let's try gamma. And kind of push the amplitude, lowers the exponent, see what the offset goes like. Maybe the amplitude is too much. Let's go minus 0.5. Oh, 0.05. Okay. Okay, I think that kind of does it. But now let's also add a shape around here to kind of simulate a downwards shadow. And let's make it dark like so. We're gonna push the blur. Actually, I'm gonna push it like this and I'm gonna make it either multiply. No, that's too much. Maybe I should push it like so. That looks kind of goodish, but maybe we can even go better than this. Let's give it a gradient. And let's make this a little darker. Just a subtle little thing, you know? Maybe the shadow over here could be better. Yeah, 30. Could I lower it a little bit? Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Oh, come on, lower yourself. You're so annoying. Yeah, something like that. Maybe reduce the opacity just a tiny bit. And there we go. Of course, we can clip some more of these roses if we need, but I kind of feel like these are like these two petals are like supportive in a way. Maybe I should enhance the shadow a little bit here with these two petals so they better look, they define. Have a better defined look. That looks nice. Okay, and over here as well. because you know shadows are a bit more prominent when they're closer. This one doesn't look too good. Okay, we need to enable this. What the heck is this? Oh no, I'm pressing the wrong things here. Close this. Okay, let me block all of the things that I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Oh, that looks bad. For some really weird reason. Actually, let's undo this. And I'm gonna release the clip if I can click on it. Let's see what's the problem here. Oh, I see. Actually, the problem is that I've clipped too much of it. Okay, it needs to be much bigger than this. Let's try this again. Much better. Maybe... where is it? So... left... petal... no? Right. Petal shadow. We need to push this a bit higher. Okay, that looks a bit more natural. It's not perfect, but again, we're trying to get photo manipulation into Inkscape, which is a hardcore feat to do. Kind of like how it's shaping out to be. I would push the contrast to be a bit more stronger, but it's not very intuitive how to play with the levels in Inkscape with black and white. It's quite a tedious task. Okay, let's try to do something interesting with the eyes. I don't know, something like so. Let's make them red as well. Opacity, let's go multiply. Nah. Maybe I'm gonna go soft light on this one. Or hard. No, soft, soft, soft. Just as an idea, you know, like, well, clearly this is not very useful to do it like so. Let's try to follow the path of the hair somehow. Just give her that striking look of red eye tape. This one is tricky to get here to the right contrast. There is a little bit of a, yeah, maybe I should push it like so. Kind of makes it a tiny bit better, a bit more. Looks interesting. Maybe a bit lower on this side. I don't know, we're only playing with red. Maybe let's do something with the skin, see what we can do here if we're gonna push the skin a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. This is a great time to exercise our nodes, placement and curves, and curvatures and blah 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 blah. Like so, and then we have a sharp turn over here. Bam. Hands are very, very, very complicated to do. Now here it's kind of difficult because we have a piece of the clothing that goes like so. I think it's here, and then we're gonna go like so. The finger kind of blends in with the color there, but that's alright. Now I can see if she cleans her fingernails or not. Like this. Let's go a tiny bit like so. It's over here, then over here. I know it's not something important to do all these tiny details, but it helps. Observing them, knowing them when they are. Like here there is a little dip. It's really nice to notice it. You have a little bit of a curve here. And then you start working on the fingernail. Like so, and and then you can see it's turning a little bit inwards. We're doing quite well. We have to go pam 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 all the way, bam bam bam. Okay. Tedious, but worth the effort. So satisfying to see your work at the end look like so smooth, so epic, so amazing. Because you are amazing. You are an awesome, awesome artist. Oh, look at this beauty. Just goes inside here and then you have like this little pinch on the skin. So you have to kind of work around that. It's microscopic work at this point. But we're good with microscopes because we're scientists. Okay, so we can go around the clothing here. There we go. Tiny little details. I'm all doing this with the mouse. You don't need anything special. You just need patience, good music, a happy life. And you can make a happy life by thinking positive thoughts and having a good laugh. Just thinking that your design is gonna look amazing at the end. I know this is tedious for you probably initially, but again, with patience comes great rewards. Because you cannot eat bread if you do not wait for it to cook. Or cheese or cake or whatever you want. Okay, we're getting closer. There we go. So let's just kind of follow the general shape. Now we're gonna just go through the hair, I don't care. There's not much we can do about this, so we can just simply imagine it. Now I'm gonna... I'm gonna try to... We have to fix this a little bit here. I'm gonna go like this. We're gonna go like this. Okay, let's put it underneath. Let's fix some of the stuff over here. Well, I need to... Which one is it though? So this one is neck. There we go. Now let's actually duplicate this neck. And with this path. What the heck was this? Eyes. So I'm gonna take this and this path. No, not the neck. This. Let's try to remove it. So that cut makes the cutout. Now let's just push this a tiny bit here. Just a tiny bit. Push this in. It's lagging because, yeah, he's screeching at me. This image is too big. Kind of like that. So let's make this, I don't know, black. And let's go, what if I try... Let's see what works. Overlay looks interesting. Oh. Okay, let's duplicate this again. Let's push it into, let's give it a bit of a color. And let's go with ooh. That gives it like a painting effect. I gave it a bit of a cyan. Ah, this place thing. Let's try to still clipping out a little bit here. Okay, save. Let's disable this, enable this. We need to get it right from the first place. Is it better? A little bit higher over here. Maybe push it a little bit like so as well. Well, I hope I got it. Maybe a bit more here. And a little bit over here. Okay, that looks much better. So let me group this. This was color bar. Let's duplicate it. I'm gonna take the color. Let's go color burn. And there we go. Have a very, very, very beautiful design. It's not perfect, clearly. Let's try to add a background to it. Okay, let's see. Let's make you 1080 by 1920. Now let's multiply you by 2. Perfect. Now let's kind of... Well, it's... It's there. Okay, so this one goes in the background. Not that much. Let's make it... let's go into the magentas. Let's push the magenta like so. And let's go... not cyan. Maybe an orange. Maybe an orange. Let's make it a little bit darker. A little bit more orangish. Something like this. And oh, okay, maybe the opacity isn't so good. Why isn't the opacity going higher? Okay, go away. This thing is stuck. I don't know. Maybe I should have made it gray. Okay, let's try a gray. The opacity isn't going full. It's weird. Okay, let's try with a gray, see how it works. Oh, let me disable that thing. Okay, so gray, just need to go like so and like so. Maybe I can push. A bit of a blue tone into it. Just a tiny bit. Let me remove some of the saturation. And there we go. We have very awesome effect. So let's look again at what we started with. That's too big. So this is the original. And this is what we ended up with. I think we did a pretty good job. It's not something wow. And I did tell you guys, like, you can't really control everything. So you still have to do a mix of tools especially for the black and white to get it more natural. Unfortunately, it's difficult to play with the CMYK. But yeah, I mean there is no K what we used, but whatever, you got what I mean. I think it ended up quite nicely. Well, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Stay awesome. Bye 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 bye.